Hey, crotch rot. I'm gonna slurp my lifer's juice out of my own gum.
Yeah, I guess I should have gotten shots beforehand.
Anything else, General?
No, that's fine.
What are all those medals?
I'll never tell. At least not while the sun's shining.
Hey, you notice we're short of Gerry?
Gary.
He is on his way. He had a power outage at the house. I just heard from him. He should be here in a few minutes.
Cool.
Power outage. That sucks. And he keeps shitting on Martin and me for living in third world countries.
Right? He's messing with you about your internet connection and stuff, and he can't even get the juice on. Check him out.
Well,
What's
they had a
going on,
Wi-Fi
guys?
outage too. Like the whole district or whatever was without Wi-Fi. And
Yeah,
he is
that's not
shitting
good.
on us.
The whole district. So you get your Wi-Fi off of public Wi-Fi?
Well, no. What I'm saying is the whole area of town where Gary is living was without Wi-Fi for a couple of hours,
Okay.
like 2 weeks back or so. I was like, yeah, you don't get to do that. Shit on
Yeah,
my
there's-
Wi-Fi.
It's like probably like around here. There's private Wi-Fi companies that you can
Really?
basically antenna to antenna internet connection.
Okay.
It's not super fast, but if you don't need speeds, it's fine.
Yeah. I like my speed. I got 600 gigs, and it's hardwired. I did this Spider-Man thing, went up in the ceiling and ran all the lines and everything. Mainly because, Foxy works for a call center. She works for a utility company.
Yeah.
You need stable Wi-Fi for that, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I had to do that. How are we doing this morning, guys?
No, I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah. I'm doing fantastic, man. We had a good show yesterday. You see, I still got the props out from yesterday's show.
Yeah.
Nice.
WrestleMania week, man. Yeah, looking forward to Raw tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know you guys aren't into wrestling, but Pop Culture Minefield has a wrestling show. Don't forget it on Sundays.
Every Sunday, 1 to 3 Central,
That's it.
2 to
man.
4 Eastern.
That is it. Yeah, we had a good show yesterday. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. What about you, Anima? How's your day going?
Yeah, I started the week with finishing the movie because I had to jump out after the first hour because it was already 3 a.m. for me. We
Yeah.
watched it we had a watch party on Saturday night, Martin, Gary, and I.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. Sunday is date night, and I didn't want to watch the depressing movie on date night with Gary, and neither did he. So,
Not
yeah, I
that
watched it on my
movie.
own. I finished it on my own today, and it is long.
Yeah, it is. It's damn near 3 hours long.
Yeah.
They didn't want to cut out anything.
No. Michael Cimino, right? Isn't he the
Yeah.
director? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Been a long time since I've seen that one. That's back when I watched the Academy Awards religiously. And
You
I
did
think
that?
Christopher Walken won an Academy Award.
Oh,
for
I
it,
did.
Didn't
You.
he? Didn't Christopher Walken win for Best Supporting Actor for this movie? I think he did. It won 5 Oscars.
Yeah.
It did,
I'm
yeah.
trying to remember.
Yeah. I'd have to look it up and see, but yeah.
Wait, I have IMDb open right now.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great movie, man. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Let me see here.
Yeah. My dad just couldn't watch it.
I imagine a lot of people can't watch that movie. Like we were talking before we came on the air, that's one of those movies. Yes, you need to see that once. It's a good movie. Okay. Yeah, some of it's wholly unbelievable, but it's got good concepts. It's got a good message to it. You know how some people just don't come home after war. They
Yeah.
in their mind they just don't. And it's a good flick on the whole, but I put it up there with 8mm and Passion of the Christ. I know these things happen, and I don't need to see it. You know.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. Watch it once and be done with it, because it's not a repeat viewing movie. It's just not. Heck, Anima was saying before we come on here how wholly depressing it is. I mean,
Yeah.
Woof.
As I called it, the most depressing movie on the planet.
You have to be
is.
with movies like Schindler's List and this one. You have to be in the right frame of mind to watch it. It's not.
Yeah.
God, yeah, that was another hard one. Schindler's List.
Yeah, you know, these things are not dealing with happy-go-lucky subject matter. You know, you've got to be in the right frame of mind to watch them. So, but yeah, it's a great movie, and I'm sure we'll get into it in depth when the guy that knows more about it than anybody can get his power back up.
Slideshow,
right?
Yeah.
Is the power back, John? Did you say anything?
Yeah, he called me while the video was going, and he said his power was out, and he will be on in a few minutes.
Okay.
Good. Because he has the slideshow.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that.
Does he have a generator that he can use, or?
Well, no, their power went out overnight. I think it's back up now, and his alarm.
But he's having to reboot
I'm thinking his alarm didn't go off, and that's why I'm thinking when I tried to call him, that's what woke him up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and there
boy.
it is. And
Way to start the week, huh?
Yeah, it's Monday.
Yep.
Mondays suck.
That's why he does the military thing on Monday, you know.
How
dare you?
Right?
That's because we needed an alliteration. We love alliterations. So we have Military Monday and Fantastic Friday now.
There you go.
I have to respond to this comment from Kingsport Cal.
Yeah, I'm just now bringing the chat up.
And the response is,
how dare you?
Oh, man. How dare you, man? He's a liar. He's anything but a liar. Let's see. He's kicking his side kick out. Oh, side kick out. Oh, I don't think so.
Stop shitting on him.
Come on, man. Who all's here anyway? We got Kingsport.
Yeah, let's say hi to chat.
Yeah. Got Orlando Dragon.
We have our list on the private chat.
Penny, John Osteen,
Deepak Martin,
Alex Moore.
Yeah. John
the crowd
Osteen.
is coming together.
Obviously, Kingsport and the Orlando Dragon. Oh my God, my tongue went like clay. Sorry.
Rented lips.
English.
Rented lips. Just say rented lips. That's my favorite one. When my mouth doesn't do what my brain's supposed to do.
And we have a host.
I always use the Robin Williams rented lips. What's up, man? How are you?
We can't hear you, buddy.
We can't
You're muted, man.
That's so weird.
Motherfucker.
There he is. There he is.
Good to see you.
Just Gerry. The first thing he has to do is troll us.
Yeah.
Imagine that happening. No way. So yeah, I woke up and my phone was off, and I'm like, "What the heck?" Because I have a big. It's a Nook. It's one of those larger Android devices.
Yeah.
And it was off. And I'm like, how is it off? Oh, we had some sort of power outage, and it lasted long enough for electricity to turn off on my phone. That or something went wrong with my phone. I don't know. That'll teach me to rely on technology.
Right?
We got you 6, don't worry.
So, yeah, I called John and told him, I said, yeah, get started without me. I'll be right there.
Gerry, your mic is a little on the low side.
Just a little, Gerry.
Oh, that's from last night. Yeah, let me turn that shit up. We were watching, Anima and I were watching something, and I turned our microphones down.
Because the sound was so low, we had to go volume full up on our devices, and then
there we go.
Was too loud.
I bet you run into that a lot with those old movies, huh?
Well, no, it's when you go to some channels, streaming channels, some of their audio is messed up on show.
Yeah.
And we're watching Undateable, and the volume was really low on that show, and I highly recommend that show to anybody. If you like zany comedies that's written well and improvised well, because a lot of the comedy between the two stars, nobody had any idea what they were going to say. And
yeah,
they would
we
just
finally reached the live ones, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, they had the first live one during the second season, and it was funny as hell. And they saved it again for the third season, and the entire third season was live. They would do 2 episodes a night. Hilarious show. I'm trying to remember. I mean, that's where we got what's his name, Funches from, Ron Funches. He's the voice of I think the Shark on Harley Quinn cartoon. You guys know who I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah, King Shark, but the actor no.
Yeah.
My goodness, share screen. I'll show you who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Tab, Ron Funches. There we go. Share this gentleman.
The name sounds familiar. Okay.
And he is hilarious, and that's where he got his start, was on this show, Undateable. You had Chris D'Elia, this gentleman. He plays one of the main characters, Danny. And Britt Morin plays the owner of the bar that they're all hanging out with. And these two, Brent and Chris, are two of the best at doing improv, on the spot, stupid insults towards each other. They're just shitting on each other throughout the show. And the nickname Chris gave Brent in his show was Baby Bird. And it just it's just so funny the first time he calls him that. Just what an insult.
Baby Bird. Yikes.
Baby Bird. Oh, come on, Baby Bird. It's like, normally a man would go, what did you just call me?
What'd you just call me, you punk?
Not Chris. He just goes with it. And I'm just like,
He stopped, though. He stopped calling him that. I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah. He did it the whole first season, though.
Yeah.
Somebody called me that, they're probably going to get knocked on their butt. You know, if you're in person, if you're on a show, I can't do anything but kick you. But
All right.
so
Baby
we
Bird.
watched that yesterday, you know, and it's a show that puts you in a good mood after you watch it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Needed a palate cleanser after the one we're talking about today, didn't you? Oof.
I finished it today, Gerry. I did it.
Dude, I had planning a gaming session after the movie. I couldn't. I just went to sleep. This drained me. I cannot do anything.
Hey, man.
Is Don
went to
here?
sleep.
Did anybody invite Don?
I invited him.
Because we're watching this movie for Don.
Yeah, right?
I asked when they told me that, I said, "Are you sure he's not trolling you? You know, maybe he just wants to see
because
us
before
stumble over
we
this
went
flick or
live,
something."
we were like, yeah, great. We are down a host and Don isn't even here. And
I was trying to remember.
To start the week.
We have had multiple breaches, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
By whom, I wonder?
Oh, one by Real Weight, and the other one I think it was
Divas isn't here yet.
Yeah. Yeah, D-Bud
I'm
Martin.
not growing a mustache, Real Wade. I've had a mustache, but it's so gray you can't see it. So I colored it.
with a Sharpie.
Hair by hair with a Sharpie. Everything looks good until I wash my face, and then I just like one black streak all the way down my face.
Some of us embrace the gray. Gerry refuses.
I'm
This
too
is
pale.
Yeah.
You have some pink to your skin. I'm porcelain.
I've got
I'm
a
freaking
little bit of
Irish,
Indian
as
in
gay
me,
as
so I
long.
soak up the sun. Yeah, for sure. No. But I was trying to remember before you came on, we were talking about the awards it won. It won 5 Academy Awards. Wasn't Christopher Walken supporting actor one of them?
Yeah, he got an Oscar. It was his first major film.
Yep, it was.
Now he'd been around for a while, since the late 50s, as a child actor.
Mm-hmm.
But as an adult actor, he hadn't gotten any major roles until this one. This one came along and really took off, man. And he's got that glazed over look. And I did some double checking, because there's been rumors for years that he served in the military, but I checked, he never served.
I was fixing to say, I heard you say that the other day. I was like, really?
Yeah, after I said it, I'm like, I better check that, because, you know, you hear so many things, because like Charles Bronson, I love that guy, and he did serve, but for years they said that he served in Europe, and then there was a report that he did not, that he was an 88 Mike, which is a truck driver,
Right.
and that he served stateside during the war. So there's a debate still on him. Another actor, what's his name? He played the sheriff in First Blood, Brian Dennehy.
Brian Dennehy,
Yeah.
one of my
That he had to
favorites.
do a public apology for years of making a claim he served in Vietnam when he hadn't served in Vietnam. He served, but he wasn't in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And that's around the time that it started becoming a thing.
Yeah, I've
where
never understood
people
stolen
started-
valor, man. I've never understood that at all.
And within a few years, you started getting the term stolen valor.
Yeah.
It was right after the Brian Dennehy thing, and his career was ruined by it. Ruined, Brian, ruined.
Ruined. Yeah.
And it's like everybody was like, where is that Brian Dennehy? Wasn't he in that effects movies? He was good. What happened to him? He lied about his military service, and it looked bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And he had
mean,
to do a
as
public
as
apology.
liberal as Hollywood is, they don't like it when you lie about certain subjects, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
Because there's too many ex-military people all over the place to get
Money
away with it.
bush.
Yeah.
A lot.
Well, I have gotten to the point where I don't even say ex-military.
Yeah,
I say
you're
former.
military from.
I say former military, form of active duty military, because it's really weird because that oath is for life.
Yeah.
When you take that oath, it's the same oath that politicians take. I swear to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like saying ex-marine.
I state my name.
Right. I state your
I
name.
heard some assholes actually say that, and I'm like, oh, you didn't take the oath.
You suck.
And then one of the officers says, those of you who thought it was funny not to say your name, you still took the oath.
Yeah. Get some. Now, it's like saying ex-marine. You call
Marines will
a
get mad
Marine
about
ex-Marine, they'll look at you like
No
you're
such
crazy.
thing.
There's no such thing as an ex-Marine.
There's a lot less former military service in Hollywood nowadays than.
Well, that's the
used to
thing
be.
that I'm offended by, is the fact that Hollywood doesn't hire more former active duty military.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Carey, I mean, you just find so few. One of the few modern stars of film is the kid that's in 65. He's a Marine.
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver.
Yeah, how great is it to see his, even coming out of that garbage trilogy, his star has been progressively rising. So,
what garbage trilogy do you mean?
You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to.
No.
I'm not sure. What is he talking
We don't want to
about?
taint this fine program with the.
What do you mean taint?
You know what I'm saying.
My goodness.
You know
Talk
what I'm
backdoor. Somebody brought up taint. You know it's called taint, right? It taints your ass and it taints your penis either.
Oh my God.
All right. On that note, I'm going to get some coffee. I'll be right back. Good Lord. It's killing me.
All right. I'm going to get the video queued up here. Let's see. So, anyway, happy Monday to everybody. I haven't said hi to everybody. Who's all here?
Oh, Monkey at last is here.
Yeah, you have to copy and paste all of them as they came in. I'll tell you where your chat. You begin with Real Wade Nation and Bush. Those are the only two I have here.
Okay. Well, Monkey Jim has just arrived.
With
a bridge,
good morning, good afternoon, Monkey. John Ostains, I see John.
Okay, we have
D.
D-Bud.
Bush.
D-Bud Martin.
D-Bud. Good
Alex
morning. I hope
Moore.
everybody's having a good. Penny is here. Or what is that? Orlando. I saw Orlando. The Orlando Dragon.
The Orlando Dragon is here.
Good morning. Cal is here. Good morning, Kingsport Cal. Alex Moore. Gosh. Half the gang is here.
Can I give
I hope
Monkey
everybody had a good
video?
weekend.
Am I allowed?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Monkey breached. Can I give him a video?
Yeah, go for it.
There you go.
Open your back door, baby. Loosen your hinges, I'll show you my key.
He gave him his favorite.
Of course I did.
But of course, this movie, I don't know what to say about this film. I saw it when I was a kid, when it came out. I went to see it in the theater with my dad, and my dad came out angry. And he might not have been talking about you. Oh, I was talking about Monkey. I love Monkey. Monkey Jeebus is
You want
awesome.
to touch his monkey?
Oh, I like to see that.
I
I
think
might die
it'd
for
be
$1.
funnier if I shot
I'd
the
like-
monkey.
I'd like to see the
Peter
fire
Gabriel,
that
love
comes
it.
from that.
Is that too
Imagine
loud,
she was
guys?
trying to fight Gerry off.
No, it's
Sorry.
fine.
Okay, because there's jets flying over the house. We had the air show this weekend, so they're moving the jets on. So, yeah, I might get some loud engine noises here pretty soon. So.
All I got
I-
to say is I may be skipping through a lot of that opening because the entire first hour is the story around the wedding.
Yeah,
Yeah, I already said it makes you feel like you really are at a wedding. You just want to run away.
Oh,
Yeah.
it drags on. And
It's
on.
forever, like an hour, and nothing
Yes.
is happening.
absolutely.
And I got to tell you, man. By the way, I haven't said good morning to Bill. Good morning, Bill. Bill's our producer. He's in the backstage right now, directing the show.
He's always using my avatar.
Now, I thought it was really neat that Anima spotted one of the churches, Greek Orthodox churches.
Really?
Well, actually, I don't know if it's Greek Orthodox or Russian Orthodox.
Russian.
And but
Well,
there is one. It's very similar to the church used as the Black Church
John
in
Osteen
the
says
movie.
it's
In the movie,
Pollock?
okay, you keep talking when I'm talking. What?
that John Osteen says it's Pollock.
They're Polish, but not necessarily that's not necessarily the Catholic Church. The Polish also parts of Poland use Russian Orthodox. The Russian
Yeah, I'm
Orthodox.
pretty sure this
Catholic
is
Church.
Russian Orthodox. 'Cause they're Russian.
I'm pretty
steelworkers.
positive it's Russian Orthodox in this. But
Anyways, he said it was the Black Church used in.
no, it's not. It's that she noticed that it was very similar in design to the one used in the movie.
Manufacturing. I've done that stuff right there. I reason why I'm here with you now, Gary, is because they shut our plant down in Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Louisiana. That's it.
Oh, that was harsh.
A lot of
What-
people
what
call
was
it
harsh?
Louisiana. Hey, look, at least we're out in the open with our political corruption. Okay, yeah, we're wide open with it. We let everybody know. You ever heard of a guy named Edward Edwards? Look him up. You'll enjoy reading about him.
Didn't you have
Edwin-
Huey?
Ed-
Huey
Edwards?
Long. There's another one.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about Huey Long. I thought he was from down there too.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah, Huey Long's had a couple of movies made about him.
Yeah, the last one I remember is the one with
John Goodman,
no, I haven't seen that one.
because he played it in the 2000s.
Paul Newman played him in one.
Oh,
And,
then that's way older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I'm thinking of. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
a
he was a
boomer,
flamboyant
so you
dude.
don't remember stuff from the newer days.
No, I
You only
don't.
remember the older times.
That's right, the olden times. What did Homegirl say? I just watched The Watchmen with the clients this weekend. What did she say? Even the older I get, even the grimy parts start getting brighter. The memories,
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing that's important here is at the beginning of this film is the building of their relationship dynamic, which is so realistic because I have known every single character in this film.
You have. Yeah, this is
Because I've worked these kinds of jobs when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the car they have in this film is the exact same Cadillac my dad and my mom had.
Wow.
The doors were like 200 pounds. We had not the 4-door Cadillac, we had the 2-door Cadillac
Mm,
where you had to pull the seat forward and get in the back seat.
Yeah.
And when I was getting out and I had to grab the door jam, there it is, right there
Mm-hmm.
with the fins.
The
I
lid
grabbed
slids.
the door to get out, and I didn't let go quick enough, and my mom shut that 200-pound door on my hand.
Ooh.
Damn it, son.
That was something else.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
sure
I
it
dropped
was
the
because
first bomb.
those 2-door ones have
Oh,
bigger doors
Bush,
too.
I am going to do an episode of 1941. Despite its tanking at the theater, I love that movie.
That movie's fantastic, man.
I love it. It is so
is great.
goofy. And it's technically based on another UFO incident.
I was fixing to say,
The
I've
original,
heard that
the
a lot of
true
that is based
Battle
on
for
truth.
LA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean,
I
of
love
course, it's
that
blown
movie.
out of proportion, but there was a
Belushi is
panic.
the P-40 pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Toshiro Mifune, who played Miyamoto Musashi. Toshiro Mifune is the U-boat captain.
Yes.
And the German Christopher Lee. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and then the girl from Jaws, the
Yep.
opening of Jaws, that gets killed by the shark.
Yep.
She's the girl on the periscope. They open
Look
the
at
movie with her
this.
doing the same thing, going out into
Hilarious,
the water.
man. That movie is
We have a
fantastic.
volunteer.
I want to be on the panel for 1941. Bush.
Oh, you're welcome, Bush. If you
Oh,
if you
man.
can do it, hell yeah. There's now again, I want to point out that there's a corrosive nature to some friendships, and you see that in this film.
Yeah.
And it leads to one of the toughest moments when they go to the hunting, and basically that guy there, the guy that plays Frito in The Godfather,
Mm-hmm.
he forgets his shoes and pants.
Yeah.
And De Niro's character ain't putting up with his shit anymore for some reason. Because
Yeah.
they're all getting ready. A bunch of there's the shirts right there.
They're all
I thought it was
stressed.
socks and shoes.
I can't remember.
Socks and hunting boots.
Yeah, it'll be in the narration. We'll see that moment when it comes. Although I might skip forward to a lot of it because it's just so dull. You see the physical abuse between Meryl Streep and her dad, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knocks the shit out of her.
Well, he's an alcoholic, and
Oh, he's absolutely a drunk. He's an active alcoholic.
yeah,
I love those
whole movie
photos.
has an undertone of the early 70s. I mean, it was just
And by the way, the
depressing
reason their
time.
photos are up are because they're leaving for Vietnam.
Yeah. And
These
and
are
the
all
whole
the characters going to Vietnam.
right. Mhm.
Makes it look like a funeral, though.
It does. And that's what I'm saying. This whole thing has an underlying sense of stress and depression because of what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even the
functional
wedding is
alcoholic.
subdued,
That's my
you know?
or you can say functional alcoholic. You can also say dry alcoholic. That's what my dad was. My dad he never got treatment for his symptoms,
Mhm.
and he continued having the symptoms even after he quit drinking. And I got him to quit drinking because I confronted him. I was like 13, and I confronted my dad. I told him the truth of everything he did because he'd get blackout drunk, blotto. And I told him, here's what you did when you were drunk, Dad. Let me tell you. And I told him. I was told to tell him by
Yeah,
a
that guy
black
at the
gentleman from
airport.
North Africa, sitting there in his fez hat, and he talked to me all night while my dad was drunk in a bar at the airport. This is at JFK back in 77, man. Walken's character, it's so weird seeing Walken so young.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah,
this
he
is
was
a
really-
Walken that would have never said we need more cowbell. He wouldn't have said it
No.
when he was this young.
Uh-uh.
He was too cool for that shit. Too cool for school.
And the alpha dog is definitely
De
De
Niro.
Niro. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, somewhere between De Niro and Walken. They're the two leaders of this pack of guys.
Mhm.
And this poor guy right here, played by what's his name, Savage.
John Savage.
John Savage.
Really good actor. Love
Good
him.
actor.
Mhm.
He is. You can tell he's going to have problems. It's his wedding, you know.
Mhm.
You know, he's the one getting married, and he's got all kinds of problems. Oh yeah, I love that song.
Yeah.
Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons. One of my favorite boy bands.
Whole
They
lot
were
of
a
gamer
boy
words I'm
band
seeing
when
going
nobody
across
had
the
a name
screen.
for it. You know, Frankie Valli's the shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's the goat when it comes to singing, man. The guy's still with us. The guy is still out there crooning.
Yep. Some guys just they just last.
I like this. He blocks the door so they can't get out.
Right. Sorry,
You know,
bastard.
there are moments oh, yeah, that's his mother. She's knocking the shit out of him, yelling at him.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you? How dare you on the night of your wedding?
Right.
And this is, look, man, East Coast, these states, it's either steel
Cold.
or coal.
Cold. Yeah.
The industries that
hardworking
drive
people.
these small towns.
Yep.
And for those of us that grew up on the East Coast, I remember that stuff. And I remember people like this. I worked with them. I had this one guy, man. He didn't like me, but he mistook my gentle nature. And so one day I turned to him. I just walked up to him. He was at his machine. And I said, "Hey, man, why are you wife fucking me all the time? We got a problem?" And he turned, he looked at me, he goes, No, we're good. I said, "I'm just curious. Am I hot to you? Or is there something about my face that pisses you off? I'm just curious. Because I'd like to stop it right now." And it never happened again.
Yeah, sometimes you got to confront guys like that. Yeah. Well,
And the funny thing
we're
with me
talking
is
rural America. It's a different mindset, man.
Yeah.
These people they're working at a factory, but basically these guys they remind me a lot of the crew that my mother's from in Maine, in the northern tip of Maine.
hard drinking.
Yeah. Ugh.
And I hate saying
there.
it this way because it doesn't have the fun connotation
No.
to it that you might think. Hard loving. And
Mhm.
when I say hard loving, there's a lot of physical fighting going on in those relationships. And a lot of it is the men doing it to the women,
Mhm.
taking out their frustrations. Blue collar, man.
Yep. We're tough people, man. They are. But some of their ways are antiquated, and
I see that Cadillac and it just takes me back.
yeah.
It's a beautiful car.
It really is. And I'm very fond of the visuals in this film. And I wish Don was here because Don would really, really enjoy this movie because he loves this film. We're
He
doing this show.
suggested we do
This
it,
show is dedicated to Don Ecker.
And if he's out there, he needs to join us.
Yes, Don. Because this movie's about a Vietnam War, and I didn't want to ever do this show, this film, because I'm not a fan of it. I have problems with it, even though there are things within it I do really like. I love the actors in it. They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
Broken glass, the imagery of that, seeing his reflection in the broken glass.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of the guys not going to Vietnam. He's 4F. He can work a job, but he can't serve in the military.
Yep.
And sometimes it was the lottery, too. Some guys didn't go. But for the most part, they went because the lottery was very unfair. It really impacted the working class. Meryl Streep was definitely somebody that, this is one of her early films.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, this is kind of a young film for a lot of these guys, except for De Niro.
them.
De Niro had been making film with Martin Scorsese since 68, 67.
Right.
That's right.
Taxi
When the Vietnam
driver.
War was going, De Niro was making movies.
Yes, he was.
Look who's here.
I thought.
Hey! Somebody send him an invite if he wants to join us.
I think I can't, so it would be following
That's
your
Mad
hand.
Mardigan.
I know.
Oh,
Can you do it, Gerry? Because when
I could.
please do it. Do it now.
Do it now. That's George Zunza. I love him as an actor. He's been in a lot of movies. I don't know if he's with us anymore. I really love that guy. But when he's young, he looks like Chris Farley. It's freaky. There are moments in this film where it's like, hey, did Chris Farley time travel into the 70s?
right. Is he in this? Yeah. He's the big fellow with a beard, right? Yeah.
No, he's the chubby guy that's their buddy. You'll
Oh.
see him. He's sitting in the back of the car on the way to the deer hunt, in the
Oh.
back behind the driver.
Man, I've been there a few times. I've been in his spot.
I think
3
it's
times.
beautiful, the whole crown thing. I'm Catholic, and I'm like, I've never seen a ceremony like this. This is wonderful.
Oh man.
This is a ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah, they have
Holding
6
the crowns over the heads. I'm
Mhm.
like, wow.
It's pretty cool.
Hey, we have Abdulio in the house.
Hey, Abdulio, what's up, man? I got to tell you, it's a film everybody should try to see at least once.
No, once is enough.
And here
Once is enough, but yeah, try and watch it once.
It is
Yeah.
such a long in the tooth movie. It's just so long.
It would be so much better if they had just cut it a little bit. It didn't need to be that long.
It insists upon itself.
What
the
was
movie,
that?
the original screenplay that was written, and it involved Michael Dealey from Blade Runner,
Mhm.
and he was one of the producers on it. Look at that church. I love the Orthodox churches.
Those onion domes.
Yeah, the onion domes, the domes, period. I love the domes. Back when people cared about what their churches look like. But what was I saying? The movie has so many problems. It was based on that. The first script was about guys becoming addicted to Russian roulette, going to Vegas and playing an underground game. And one dude loses his shit and ends up staying in Vegas in this underground tournament as the reigning champion. He's never lost. And it's the main character's best friend, and he goes there to try to convince him to leave. And really, it does look like a funeral. Every time I see that, it really does. It's weird.
Yeah.
But they never show Christopher Walken's photo. It's all the way over on the left.
No, you see it.
I didn't
they
see
show it.
I didn't see it. That was Savage's face they showed.
No, but I think it's the selection of the slide.
I don't think they show it. I didn't see it in the movie.
Yeah, they show it.
And they use a lot of the locals there as extras.
Yeah.
And so they've got that genuine look of people that live and work in that town.
Mm-hmm.
And like Don says he's been to weddings like this, where he's from in Pittsburgh. Well, he's not from Pittsburgh, in that region. Yes, I know. That's right. Family Guy. That's what I was doing the voice. It insists upon itself. Most of the Polish relatives who had photos in their houses, Pope John Paul II, the first Polish Pope. Yeah, John Kennedy. I was that Catholic. We always had a picture of the Pope and President Kennedy on the wall. We were Democratic Irish Catholics. And that didn't change until the Democratic Party lost its mind in the 80s. And they had been too infused with the left. And my dad and I left.
I think I've already told you this story, Gary. I wasn't allowed to play with toy guns when I was a kid. Because of what happened to President Kennedy. My wife, or excuse me,
There's Zunza. There's Zunza dancing.
Okay, yeah, that's right. He was in a bunch of movies back then.
Oh my God, he was all over the place back in the 70s and 80s, dude.
But my mother still considers the Kennedys the royal family of the U.S. And she pays attention.
They were called for years, decades.
I mean, she's a McBriarty. Okay, she's Irish.
They were considered American royalty, the Kennedy family.
Yep.
And then we meet like Robert Kennedy Jr., who's an idiot.
Yeah.
And got the most messed up voice I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that guy could sing to save his life.
And those guys don't need to get into planes, do they? Good Lord. Joe and John Jr. Man.
John really did care about the black communities, and he had a relationship with Martin Luther King. Johnson, on the other hand, was a racist piece of shit. He was prone to using the N-word.
Yeah.
And I never liked Johnson. I never liked him. I can't stand racists. I really can't. I just don't want him in my life.
Man, you know, I've heard so many stories about that guy, about him doing briefings while he's sitting on a toilet, having guys sitting there, you know,
What?
briefing him while he's sitting on the shitter and stuff. I mean, the guy just sounded like a crude dude.
Oh, he was. Look, I fall into that category of the people that believe that he was involved in the conspiracy. I have.
Yeah.
Don and I have talked about it extensively. That he had a hatred for Kennedy. He did not like Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the ticket for the vote. And that's the only reason why John had him on there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah, a lot of times those vice presidential candidates are thrust upon the guy that gets the nomination. You know.
Yeah.
That's why Bush ended up on Reagan's ticket. They said, "Yeah, you're going to get the nomination, but you're taking this guy with you." You know.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of, even though, you know, yes, he was a hero pilot or whatever you want to call him during the war.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like George Bush Sr. at all.
He put me to sleep.
Look, I said back then, and I still stand by my statement, when you're the former head of the CIA and you proclaim that you were unaware of this stuff happening with Reagan, you're one of two things. You are either an inveterate liar, pathological inveterate liar,
and don't imbecile and don't need my vote.
Don't deserve to be president, or you're a complete moron. And again, you don't deserve to be president. I was ashamed of him as a president. He was terrible.
Now, being a liar and a complete moron is the proper way
to template, isn't it?
Democratic president.
Come on, man.
He was the first guy to
he got the trifecta, you know.
Mm-hmm. He was the first guy to
all of the above. Now that dude right there has been in a lot of movies too. The dude singing, and he's singing, of course, the Frankie Valli song, you know, in the Four Seasons. And these two are clearly in love with each other, but she's got a relationship like it's almost like a promise to check out those old World War II vets. Mm-hmm. Possibly even World War One. See that one head over there? You're right. Yeah. I think that's World War One. We still had World War One.
Yeah, you we're probably looking at something that was arranged a long time ago when you're talking about the wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, she was supposed to be with Christopher Walken's character, you know, but she and De Niro are in love with each other. It's obvious from the onset when they start interacting. These two have feelings. And it's just not friends.
Yeah,
and I've been in that. I've been in that situation, dude. It's why I ended up in the Army, because a girl had feelings for me and I for her, and we'd been friends since we were kids. And I'm just nope, I can't do this. She was engaged. Got to go. I'm not going to be that guy. And I left. I ghosted everyone in my hometown when I left. The only people that ended up knowing were Jim and Mike. They were the only two that knew. And of course, the guy I went in the Army with.
Of course, I was in ROTC. A bunch of us joined together. They,
yeah, you don't admit that when you're in basic, man.
No.
You're ROTC.
I couldn't shy away from it though. I was a private first class in basic training, man. I mean,
I know you'll come in. Guys that were ROTC came in already with rank. And that's how, like, one of my best friends, I say my best friend, he really was in many ways, but I collect close friends. When they're really close, I refer to them all as my best friends. When I'm deeply involved with these people as friends, I call them my best friends. So I probably have about 15 best friends that since childhood to today, that I'm still close to, every single one of them. I still have them in my life on a regular basis, talking to them.
I'm the local linchpin in my gang because I'm the guy that's still here. I'm in the house I grew up in, man. So when they come home to see their parents, I see them. You know what I mean? They always come find me.
Bush's Churchill reference reminds me of shaking hands with Lech Walesa at his speech at the Fulton Museum. Another one of my favorite, Pollux. I was a big fan of Lech Walesa. Let's see. It was a good conversation. And I don't know why Cal, can you see Bush? Bush is saying that he couldn't see you.
No, he can see him now.
Oh, he can see him. Okay. Jim Woodward and I had a period where we stopped talking. It was over a girl. And he took her side of things. And then later he realized I was telling the truth. And we got past it.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was a girl in our life that almost got married to my brother Michael, my late brother Michael, broke up with him, and I introduced her to Jim Woodward. And so she had a relationship with my best friend. And they almost got married. She left him at the altar. And then after a few years, I was in Illinois, and she wanted to have a relationship with me. And she said that it was really creepy. She said that she went through all of them to get to me. And I'm like, that's a creepy thing to say to somebody. I didn't like that. And I broke up with her pretty quickly. Because she was 2 or 3 beans short of a full burrito. She's the one I've told you about that would cut up shit and leave it on my doorstep. Like I gave her son my combat boots, and she cut them up, sliced them with razors, and wrote with just a bunch of nasty things about me with whiteout on them. And I remember saying, "Whew, I dodged a bullet with that one."
Oh yeah, huge one.
And so she went and told all these nasty things about me to Jim Woodward. And I said, she's the one that left you at the altar. There's something wrong with her. So you think what you want. And a few years went by, and finally he realized, he made a mistake. And we made up. We kissed and made up, Jim and I did. We have consistently been best friends, even when he was angry at me and I was angry at him over that shit. And I was so happy. I cried. I actually did cry when he came back into my life because he means so much to me.
As you guys can see, this wedding
goes
on forever.
on and
It
on
does.
and on.
Oh, it's like the real thing.
Yeah.
The entire first act and going into the second act is this freaking
This
wedding.
wedding. Yep.
And it's just, oh my God. I would rather watch these guys at work at the foundry.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Show me how you make some steel there, buddy.
Oh my God. And I'm sorry to hear that, Bush. Man, that sucks. There are guys that I can't find from the Army. One of my best friends in the Army, Julian Fuller. I've been looking for him for years. I tried military buddies. I tried everything.
Saying, if you're out there, the guy that got me smoking, you know who you are.
You mean smoking cock?
No, shush up.
Jesus, Gerry.
God, Lord. I was stressed out for a law test we had to take, and he handed me a Salem Light. Said, here, chill out. And I said, all right, I'll try this. Ended up smoking for 32 years after that. Sing, if you're out there, subscribe and get in touch with me, bro.
Reminds me of Norm Macdonald when Norm goes, yeah, I started smoking when I was 12. I thought, hey, man, smoking cigarettes make me look cool. And Lord, I found out it really does. Makes you look cool. Norm Macdonald.
Yeah,
comedian.
it makes you look cool, all right.
Cancer. We were talking about random bullshit, and then she started about Florida. I said things DeSantis was doing, and she said, and I swear I'm not making this up, he's a literal Nazi, right? I hung up. Oh. Yeah. No, you sometimes you don't talk politics with friends, close friends. I know which friends not to talk politics with.
Yeah.
I can get along with them. I just learned a long time ago, man, see, Keith and I, we talk politics, and we're completely on. Technically, we're polar opposites politically, but we took a test, and in that test, we're actually very, very close together. In the four squares, we're very centrist in our beliefs. So I think that's why he and I never we argue, but we never argue.
See, that's one thing. I always tell people, you have to filter what you're seeing from the mass media when it comes to news and politics and all that stuff through your own lens. Because when I was working in the factory, I had a black friend of mine that we would sit out in the smoking area.
No way.
Just listen. We would go out there and we would smoke and we'd talk about. It was when Trump was running for office when he got elected.
16,
and we'd talk about things. And you know what? We talk politics all the time. He was a Navy vet. I was an Army vet. We had a lot of shared experience and stuff, right? But he was a lefty, and I'm more of a conservative guy. But we talked politics. We had true discourse. You know what I'm saying? Civil discourse.
Well, that's the way it should
lost
be.
in this
People
country
should
now.
be name calling and doing all that crap. It's weird.
And I mean, we can have these conversations, guys. Don't let the media sell you on the fact that you can't have those conversations. You can.
Oh, they can. Absolutely. But I lost one of my closest friends, a Iraq war vet buddy of mine, called up and he had severe TDS and early onset TDS. And I had been in a hospital for a week and was exhausted, and I was home trying to recover. And he just kept waking me up, and I yelled at him. And stop waking me up with this shit. I don't care. He never spoke to me again.
Yeah.
He was having a complete meltdown, and I didn't want it. I didn't want it in my life.
Yeah.
I don't melt down. I get angry about a lot of stuff, and I just quietly boil under the surface.
Yeah.
You just won't see me lose my shit.
Yeah.
Let's key level leftist, but I find most people who care on the far left or right are very much alike in ways that really matter. Yeah. Kingsport Cal is my black friend, so I can say insert slightly racist thing. That's so true. So many people think they can do that. I can get away with being racist. Oh, this scene here where he gets out of the car and they keep driving off without him. And finally, he thinks he's getting in, and after they've done it to him already twice, and then they do it a third time, and he's like gets angry and he throws his beer. This isn't funny. Stop it. Oh my God. Asshole friends. But this is where we're coming up on that scene where you find out the dynamic of their friendship and what an ass De Niro is. But he's very serious. The problem is he's facing the reality of going to war. And he's tired of this one friend always relying on them. And it's the guy that played Frito in the Godfather films. And he forgot his shoes and socks. Was that it? Or
he forgot his hunting boots and socks.
There's Zunza. I love that guy as an actor. He was in a lot of films. But I swear to God, he looks like Chris Farley. It's freaky. Hands off the fucking bread. But these are guys, and some of them are, their friendship can go from just great brother kinship to toxic, acidic. And that's what happens here is his character right there, he's off and where the hell's my boots? It was his boots. Somebody took my boots. He forgot his boots and what have you. And De Niro, it's like something apparently he does all the time, and they make fun of him for it. You always forget. And De Niro this time is like, we're always covering your ass. No. No means no. You're not allowed to. And then he pulls the gun out. I mean, the bullet out of his rifle. And he says the whole thing about a bullet. It's, this is life. This bullet. It's about this one thing. Which is something, because it's so subtle in the way he says it, that it's something that we said in the military. A bomb's not a bomb until it explodes.
Mm-hmm.
A soldier's not a soldier unless he's doing soldier shit. It's really kind of what he's doing. Oh, the F word, the other F word is used quite a lot in his movies.
I mentioned that earlier. I said a lot of gamer words being slung around here.
Yeah, because that's the thing with me when I'm gaming that I'm nervous about streaming is that my brain goes straight to 18-year-old mode, and I just start insulting people when I'm gaming. I just talk shit. I'm a shit talker during the games, and I get nervous because that word will slip out while I'm playing, and it's not something that's in my day-to-day lexicon.
Not that your brain.
But here he is. He's berating their
day-to-day
friend in
life.
front of everybody. And it's not a cool thing to do, to berate your friends in front of other people. It's something you do privately. You know, if you're going to give him shit. But he's doing it in front of everybody. He's, it messes with his masculinity. It's just not cool to do that shit with everybody. But these guys are so comfortable around each other. I guess he just doesn't mind cutting him down.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's laughing at his expense. And De Niro clearly the alpha male in the pack, and I love these shots. Cimino changed it when he got a hold of the script. Michael Cimino took this Vegas story and turned it into a Vietnam story, and this is where he screwed up. Never in the history of any of the branches that were taken as prisoner of wars in Vietnam is there a story of Russian roulette ever being played. So it didn't happen. 2, no Americans escaped captivity during the Vietnam War other than Dieter Dingler. He is the only U.S. serviceman to escape being a prisoner of war.
Boss, we have to go to break.
Oh, it's the time. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, Bill,
take us away. Hi, guys. This is Gerry from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
A birthday without her mom. An anniversary without her husband. Her wedding day without her dad. These are the days when military families feel it most of all. The loss of their soldier, their sailor, their airman, their Marine, their Coast Guardsmen. Families never forget their loved ones lost to war or illness or suicide. Families never forget, and neither do we. We are TAPS, the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. We provide resources, support, and comfort to heal the hearts and meet the needs of grieving military families, all at no cost to them. Your generosity can make an enormous difference in the lives of the families of our fallen military heroes. Our military families need to know they are not alone and they are not forgotten. Show them your support at taps.org.
Are we alone in the universe? The most important question facing humanity is on the verge of being settled once and for all. Mutual UFO Network has been at the forefront of this journey for nearly 50 years. Our members worldwide are dedicated to the research, documentation, and awareness that will shape the future of humanity. Won't you join us?
Hey members, The new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh, wow! We survived!
All right.
Sorry about that, guys. We should stay when I'm doing a show. We should always be in the main lobby. It is the it's right near the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 video down from the top in the main lobby. I wasn't aware we're in the wrong lobby. Sorry, guys, that was the wrong commercial. Let's get this thing going here again.
Are you liking the new layout features in here? I haven't played with them yet. I thought about setting me up a gaming thing.
I'm not sure how I feel right now. Sorry, guys. That got a little messed up. So here we go. Get the banner back up in the comments. Get video back where it's supposed to be. This is the final scene after they return from the hunting trip. They're in the bar, and he begins playing a song on the piano, and they're all just sitting there somber because they're all about to ship out to the war.
Yeah.
And it's a good scene.
Hmm? Love that actor. What's his name again?
George Zunza.
Man, he's good.
What? Isn't he Chris Farley?
Right, he's Chris Farley, damn it.
Sure kind of looks like him, doesn't he?
And now we're in Vietnam.
Yeah, not even halfway yet. We're into the second act, well into it. And we see him in combat with special forces. He's got his little tiger stripes. He's a Green Beret. This is a scene that a lot of people got angry about at the time, showing the Vietnamese killing Vietnamese. It's like, well, it happened, so live with it, deal with it.
Get over it. Yeah. There's
a family of villagers in a hiding under the ground, and we see the I'm not sure. I have to double check because I'm looking at the lapel and I can't tell if he's NVA or I don't think he is because NVA wore green. So he throws a grenade down into the hole, killing everybody, and then De Niro grabs a flamethrower and burns him to death. And the pigs are like, "Oh, this is delicious! Nasty. Barbecued human is good.
Yummy. Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys."
And then
yikes. That was an evil laugh.
Yeah, it was a cackle. And then for some reason, he's now in a prisoner of war camp. Those are other military soldiers, not the enemy. But I never understood that transition from that scene to now in the camp. Yeah. And for some magical reason, these three best friends are in the same POW camp.
Yeah.
What are the
they
chances?
Just separated them right away. That'd have been the first thing they did as soon as they started.
You might end up with two friends in the same unit, right? And getting captured. You would not have three, and it's just really bad writing.
What are the chances of all three of them being in the same unit?
Yeah,
well, they're not.
Highly, because you know, my friend and I joined together. Mm-hmm. I never saw him until we got to permanent
Raimi,
party.
the guy I joined with. I never saw him.
No. You know, you go in on a buddy system, find out that's some bullshit.
Yeah, right. Oh,
it's not like in Stripes.
The last person you want to talk to is a recruiter. They will lie their ass off, get you to sign a piece of paper. No doubt.
Because a lot of the time, And by the way, they established right here the headbands
Mm-hmm.
while playing the Russian roulette. That way they could hide
The squib.
the squib and not make it so obvious.
Yep.
And this is bullshit too. This never happened.
Yeah.
But I think Cimino was onto something with changing it from being about Vegas and being about warriors in prison in the whole Russian roulette thing.
Yeah.
I just think that he screwed it up playing too much with history.
Right.
And we see right off the bat that Savage's character just is not designed to hack stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The ironic part of the story is that one of the most solid characters in the story is Christopher Walken's character. And he's the one who ends up losing it the most.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's one of the most grounded. You're right. This is a common theme with Vietnam genre movies. I mean, Apocalypse Now is, isn't it loosely based on Heart of Darkness? Isn't it?
It's not loosely based. It is based completely off Heart of Darkness, down to the characters' names. Yeah. Heart of Darkness is Joseph Conrad's seminal story about the loss of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Going into
now, the original story takes place in what conflict?
Africa. It's in the
That's
Congo.
right. That's right.
And it's Tusk Hunter. He's a elephant hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think the best elephant hunt story I've ever seen is Clint Eastwood's movie, and I forget the name of it, but it's a good film. It's the fictionalized true story of John Huston.
I was fixing to say he plays John Huston in that one, doesn't he?
Yeah, he even does an absolute perfect impression of Huston.
What movie is that? Yeah, he does. It's uncanny. He does a really great job in that one. Yep. I'll look it up real quick.
I'm actually looking it up too.
Okay.
But
speed run.
It's a very good film. It's a hard watch because it's not an exciting action-filled film. It's about the making of the movie The African Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's odd. It's not even listed on Google under his movies that he's worked on. Really? He left that movie completely out. Well done. Well done. I'm gonna have to go to IMDb.
That's what I'm on right now, looking through it. But it was before Unforgiven. White Hunter, Black Heart.
That's it. White Hunter, Black Heart.
And they didn't use John Huston's name. He plays John Wilson.
No, they fictionalized everything, but it is what happened.
Yep.
It's a very good film. And of course, right from the get-go in this scene, De Niro is the guy who's always on the ready. He's the alpha dog. Whereas Walken is the calmer dog that's like the alpha dog's best friend. Hey, George.
Right.
I'm referencing a cartoon.
A cartoon, yes.
Warner Brothers cartoon.
I will hug him and squeeze him and call him George. What are we going to do today, George? Hopping around him.
Yes.
So basically, De Niro's like, we're not going to survive this. We got to do something. And of course, Savage's character is wounded. He's bleeding badly. So he starts talking about bullets again, counting the bullets and I'll pick the moment. And it's kind of clever what he does. He goes, you want to make more money? You want to make this game exciting? Not one bullet. Give us 3 bullets.
Whew.
And so they begin playing Russian roulette with a gun that has 3 rounds in it. And he's paying attention to where those bullets are. Even though he's acting like he's not, he really is. And it leads to, how they end up escaping. But they still got to play Russian roulette with this gun. Mm-hmm. And it's very tense watching this. And
it's also very unrealistic. Like stuff like that doesn't happen.
Yeah, this is this
That
this
was
is
my
intense
issue.
because they keep beating the shit out of De Niro,
Yeah,
wanting him
and
to shut up.
Now, there's a
Yeah.
rumor that, and I don't know how true it is, that De Niro requested for a real bullet to be in the gun in one scene, and I don't know if that's true. I don't know any armorer that would have allowed that.
I don't believe that.
Not on
No,
purpose.
That's. You really think Robert De Niro, that guy, is going to let them put a real bullet in a gun?
No,
I don't see that.
I don't see it either.
A couple. Of course, he's
No
got
way.
the Screaming Eagle. Both of them do. Both of them are 101st Airborne, as well as Green Berets. In fact, you'll see later that De Niro's character has the Ranger tab.
Yep.
As well. And it's important. It's important. You know, there is a thin line of distinction between Airborne and Ranger. And when it comes to having your tabs. And it's sort of like if you graduate a UDT, you're considered a Navy SEAL. Even though you didn't go, because you still had to graduate from BUDS, and BUDS is underwater demolitions. And so if you graduate BUDS, you are recognized as a Navy SEAL, which is how Jesse Ventura is recognized as a Navy SEAL, because he graduated BUDS as an underwater demolitions guy.
We have a question from Bush.
How do you know torture like this didn't happen?
I'm not talking about the
from
torture.
those-
What I think didn't happen was the way they escaped from that POW camp.
Yeah, well, no, there was no escapes, and there is no record from any survivors that were in POW. We had a lot. I mean, they talk about all the missing in action guys. We have a lot of POWs that returned home. They went from being held by VC to being held by the NVA. Because VC, a lot of people don't know, we kicked the shit out of the VC. They were dead after the Tet Offensive. We killed so many of them they couldn't survive. So,
yeah, John McCain was a POW, and
well, yeah, I don't want to get into that because
no, not at all. I'm just saying he was, and he had physical disabilities
his elbows were
because
broken.
of it. Yeah,
they destroyed his elbows. There was a lot of torture, but with Russian roulette, there's not one single report of it being done. And Russian roulette was not a popular game in Vietnam. It's just what they show in this film is based on a script that was about an underground culture here in the United States. This is the original script. And all what Cimino did is he switched it to being a Vietnam story. No, they didn't really lie. They would try to say that they weren't tortured because they didn't recognize the treaty. Yeah, just Russian roulette. There was no Russian roulette. Also, there were no escapes. Outside of Dieter Dingler, there were no escapes from any prisoner of war camps in Vietnam. That's okay. I don't expect you to be as smart as me, Bush.
Oh my goodness. I'm just waiting for the comeback.
I'm only kidding you, dude.
It is coming, no doubt about it.
So we are now right at this river scene is the 50 minute, the 50, we're halfway through the film. And they're trying to survive on this log, and they're coming up on a scene with some helicopters, and I hope to God I'm never as smart as you, okay? They come to this downed rope bridge, and they start seeing these helicopters coming in. They're gunships. They got the mounted weapons on the side, rockets, I assume, maybe. And they begin trying to be seen by him and unsubscribe.
We all know you're not unsubscribing, Cal.
Nah,
You like
Cal,
us
we
too
love
much.
Cal. So they're trying to get on this helicopter, and they're under fire. And so the helicopters having great difficulty holding position. They're trying to
That
get
was
them all in.
intense to watch.
Yeah, it was. What did Quint say in Jaws? The scariest moment was when they were picking us up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that moment of hope where it's like, I was comfortable without hope. And they're holding on to, there's little grips there. They're really designed for your feet to grab onto. Those, they look like handles, but they're not handles. That's where your feet go. On the helicopters that we used, the Hueys we had, those were covered, and they had what's like rhino skin on it, so your shoes wouldn't slip. Your boots.
Yeah, that's the tense part of the movie right there.
Mm.
Hey, Pope Metallicus is here. What's up, brother?
There he is. There's one of those not ex-Marines.
That's
no such
right.
thing as an ex-Marine, right, Pope? We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I don't ever refer to myself as ex-military. I refer to myself as former active duty. Because I took that oath for life.
Yep.
Wait a minute. I was reading that. Hold on. What is it? Taking what little joy they had and that amazing wedding and then the war and torture. Right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, oh, I thought this was about a wedding and a marriage. Oh, it's about war. No, it's not even about war. And this is a problem early on with Hollywood is they want to show every Vietnam veteran is broken. At least this movie I felt depicted De Niro's character as not broken because he's not. And in fact, it kind of emphasizes the point that I made with people. You have three guys go into the same battle and you get three impacts from that battle. Different impacts. You got one that's fine, one one's like got some issues, and then you got one that's absolutely foobar from his PTSD. Same battle. It's all in how a person, and that's what this show kind of depicts is you got these three different guys going into the same experience and look how differently they react to it. And of course, De Niro's character has the other wounded guy and he's terrified because they fell off the helicopter. Well, he let go when his buddy fell. And he stayed there to make sure he protected his friend, played by Savage. And so they have to find their way back to civilization while, Christopher Walken's character is already at the hospital and you already see the effects on him. There's something wrong with him because he breaks down in this scene when the doctor walks up to ask him who he is. Where you from, boy? Because he says something about his name. Isn't that Russian? Like,
yeah, he asks him.
Yeah.
He asks him his mother's name and birth date of his parents, and he just can't answer the question. He breaks down.
He's broken.
Absolutely.
They broke him.
And this is really one of those difficult images that it really did look like that. They'd have those bodies out there and these little metal caskets being brought up to put the bodies in, laying out there in body bags. Yeah, this surgeon's kind of a dick. I can't stand him. Is that a Russian name? And he's just the accusatory way he asked that.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, it's American. And he's just looking around seeing all these wounded warriors. And it's breaking him down.
Especially the black dude who had his arms blown off.
Yep, looking up at him.
Mm.
There's a funny story. I'll tell it in a moment because I want to watch this moment here when this happens. He's asking him a question about his mother, and he just starts crying. He breaks down. He's losing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, Bush, it was originally, like I said, it was an underground Russian roulette thing in Vegas that the story was telling, and Cimino changed it to Vietnam. That was his big contribution. Yeah, the two things that were unrealistic was Russian roulette in the POW camp, and two, escaping. Nobody escaped. And this film gives you a false idea that it just never happened. The only one to do it was Dieter Dingler, who was shot down. He was the first naval aviator shot down in the war. He was the first American military POW, and he's also the first American soldier or, military personnel to escape confinement from the Vietnamese. And so basically, at this point, Christopher Walken's character diverges completely from the guys. The first time he's been completely separated from them. And he's having his own experiences, and he's losing his shit. And by the way, the pith helmets is something that was very popular in Vietnam. Police wore them. Yes, absolutely. That was the other thing I liked as well. I do like that because the guy that's that Walken meets here is French.
Yeah.
And he's the one that helps get him into the thing. The I don't know what to call it. Russian roulette gaming.
Yeah. The French were there for God, how long, man? Before
decades.
This.
Well, they basically are the reason the whole shit started.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, it was Vietnam was okay until communism, and then shit went down. The minute communism got involved, that's when things got rough.
Yeah, but communism was a very bad reaction to the oppression of the French.
Well, the oppression by the French, and the French.
Yeah,
I think my favorite scene that got added back into a movie was from Apocalypse Now, when they added the French plantation in the middle of Vietnam.
Really?
War. Just, it's a weird scene.
My favorite thing referencing the French is the opening of We Were Soldiers.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is awesome.
And it's the same.
Guy looks at him and says, "Kill them all," and they'll
the lead
stop
general,
yeah.
the lead Vietnamese general, is a real person.
Mm-hmm.
They show him killing one of the Frenchmen with a bayonet, and I like that moment because it connects that French war to the war with America. We were there for a different reason than the French, which was to drive out communism.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't give two shits about plantations and oppressing the people.
No.
We were trying to help the South Vietnamese liberate itself from the North Vietnamese, the communists.
But yeah, that scene, that's my favorite one. That ever
Bush is back to typing like he has asthma.
Because of this. It's because of this.
Oh, did he get?
That is too good.
Did they ban him? Do the limiting on his account?
No.
Oh. So here he is talking to the Frenchman.
Yeah, he basically recruits him into running the circuit there, doesn't he? Something like that.
He tries to dismiss him though first.
Mm-hmm.
But
and he asks him, "You've seen this before?" And he's like, "Of course I have. Because that's what they do in the POW camps, play Russian roulette."
It's his favorite pastime.
Now, I will tell you, though, one connection they do have is the Russians were in Vietnam. There were Russian agents for the military, Russian military there. And they even broached that with Magnum PI because there was a Russian running the camp with the Vietnamese that had Thomas Magnum and TC.
Interesting.
Again, they make the mistake in even Magnum PI of showing them escape. Because that never happened.
Man, he was young.
Yeah, he was. He looks like a kid.
How old was he back then?
He was in his 20s.
Yeah.
He was a kid.
Really young.
Yeah, he was a little kid in the late 50s doing TV and stuff, and in a couple of movies, playing a kid all the way up into the 60s. And then the 70s hit, man. He was in his 20s, and he gets this role, man. And De Niro's out there looking for him, trying to find him. And De Niro chases him, here in a moment. And Walken's character wants nothing. Nicky doesn't want anything to do with him. He's done. I'm done with civilization. This is my world now. He's lost it. And in order to keep him from chasing him right here, he throws the money up in the air, and all those people get in front of him to get the money that he threw down.
Clever move.
And so he goes back to the States.
Yeah.
And they got a welcome home party. Well, they got a welcome home party, and he doesn't want any part of it. He's like, go on, drive on, keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
So everybody's here. He's like, oh, it's him. Oh, he's here. Oh, the taxi kept going. It must not be him. And he waits till everybody leaves, and then he shows up the next morning. And he just wants to see her. And even though De Niro totally messed with Fredo, that guy from the Godfather, loves him. It's a brother thing, because as much as my brothers messed with me as a kid, I still love them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they were dicks. They really were. My brother Mike wasn't. My brother Jim, he really was. My brother Steve did a couple things too.
It's
Brothers
what later on in life makes you thick as thieves, man.
Now he's in the hotel room going through his shit.
You hear my brother talk. Now this is a guy. I'm like 5'11". He's 6'1", 250 pounds. Always been a big guy. But to hear him tell it, I beat his ass every day of our childhood.
Both you are tiny to me.
Yeah, well,
you're a fucking giant, Gerry. Oops,
I don't need to explain that. Yeah. I'm nowhere near Sasquatch level, sir. No.
But this scene, what he's dealing with isn't the war. He's dealing with the fact that he couldn't get Nicky, and he feels that it's his obligation. This is a character who always feels obligated.
Not only that, apparently he still doesn't know anything about Stevie. He doesn't know if Stevie's alive, even.
Yeah, because he got lost in the mix when they got separated after he got him back to civilization in the military.
That's one thing, that long sequence at the beginning with the wedding really makes the foundation of that. This guy's the alpha dog, and he is the guy that really takes everybody on his shoulders. He might mess with them, but nobody else better mess with him, because
because when it gets into the thick of it, he'll be the one that's there.
Yeah.
And now he wanders down. He won't even go to the front door. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Goes to the back door.
To the back door. That's right.
He doesn't even go in. He knocks until he gets up and opens the door.
Even she says, "It's open." He doesn't come in.
Yeah. He just keeps knocking.
He's like a vampire. He has to be invited in physically.
Yeah.
I also didn't, by the way, I didn't like the Green Beret scene in the during the wedding.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Because no matter how messed up you are, Green Beret wouldn't be rude like that to civilians.
He wouldn't. That's absolutely correct. He would not.
As we refer to it, where is
He's a
your
staff
military
sergeant,
bearing?
yes, Gerry.
Where's your military bearing?
Mhm.
You have to have. You got to. There it goes. There's his ranger tab.
Yep.
Yeah, and his rank is staff sergeant. Is that correct?
Has it got one rocker?
Yeah, one rocker. It was a staff
That's staff
sergeant.
sergeant.
Yeah.
E6.
Come on, show his shoulder.
I think De Niro has one rocker, whereas the Green Beret at the beginning only had the 3 stripes.
Yeah, he's a buck sergeant. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't remember the one at the beginning.
Or as we call it, buck fucking sergeant.
There. No, it's not the whole thing.
No, that's not low enough. You got to see if you got a rocker or not.
And again, in this
he's got
era,
it. He's got it.
when you wore those Class A's in uniform, when you wore your uniform in the 50s, 60s, 70s, going into the 80s, I don't know about the 90s. I can't remember the 90s much. Even in the 90s, if you had your unit patch on your left shoulder, you'd been deployed. You didn't just need to see the deployment stripes on their wrist.
Right.
If you saw somebody wearing their deployment patch on their left shoulder, that meant they'd been deployed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, she's just clearly in love with De Niro's character.
She's hitting on him.
Constantly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look, her ovaries are an overload. I want your baby. She's your typical, that's what their lives back then. They were there for marrying a guy and having babies. That was their goal, their dream. I want to be a mother. They weren't like so many women today that's all about their career.
Yeah.
That these women wanted to breed and help propagate the species.
Good, man. That's it.
You can show that without showing him disrespect civilians. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. The one thing that's beat into as a soldier is you respect. Don't you ever talk shit to a civilian. We catch you get caught doing that, you'll get an Article 15 for it.
Mm-hmm.
You get in some serious trouble. You do not talk down to citizens. They are above you. You're nothing more than amphibian shit compared to...
Hey, Capitino's in the house.
Jay is here. Of course he is.
It's a movie.
I don't even know if they even had a technical advisor for this.
I don't think they did that back then.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is where he shows up with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the scene where he finds out that the one dude's been missing and he's alive.
a little further when they in the kitchen.
Those are stacked kegs in the background. I love that. That's something you just don't see anymore. Stacked kegs behind a bar.
Yeah. Anima, I don't know. I'm sure Gary's told you this. The ones going up are called chevrons, and the ones on the bottom are chevrons.
Yeah, I just used the same words that Bush did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm making progress in learning the ranking
I hear
system.
you. You know what I love is if you've seen oh God, what is the name of that Brown novel that the Da Vinci Code, when he's talking about the symbolisms of the military, he said this is the symbol for phallus. The more phalluses you have, the higher rank you are in the military, right? Yeah.
Right.
Pretty funny.
And if you notice, like when they show that Green Beret at the beginning, that guy had 6 deployment stripes.
Yeah.
That guy had been deployed 6 times into combat.
Crazy.
That really, if he's sitting there having a beer in a bar and he's at
a wedding. No, it's a wedding.
Right. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, if he's chilling and he's got six deployment markers, you don't need to mess with that guy.
Yeah. But I do like it when he's just before he takes that one swig. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This trips me out. This kid, that's a real gun. That's not a toy.
Yeah.
A kid's playing with.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I would have immediately gone, dude, I would have taken it from the kid. Like,
it was a different time, man. These people, and once again, rural America, they're brought up around guns.
Well,
I was too, and I still would have taken it from him.
Not only that,
what are you doing?
you can
Suck
see
it
that
on the end of a barrel.
you can see that Angie is not quite there.
Oh, she's gone.
Yeah.
She's gone. But absolutely, De Niro's character should have taken it from him.
Yeah, he should have.
But she's catatonic, man.
It was a dark time, man. It was a dark time for this country. And we haven't learned our lessons from it yet.
I got to tell you, Che, I hated it when we were given berets to wear. A lot of us resented all of us wearing berets. I'm like, this was designated for special forces, man. We shouldn't be wearing these.
No.
And we complained, but that was part of our basic uniform at that point. I hated them. I preferred wearing my, I liked wearing my cargo. I liked wearing all my headgear.
Read this from Monkey G.
He was just impressed with how metal that kid was.
That's great. Yeah, the only time I ever wore a beret was when I was in ROTC for drill team competitions. I never wore one, and still wouldn't wear one. That's Green Beret territory. No, no thanks.
Yeah, and Pup Metallicus makes a good reference. 3 up, 3 down. What does that mean to you? He goes, end of an ending? Good morning, Vietnam. What does 3 up, 3 down mean to you, soldier? End of an ending?
Wait, 3 up, 3 down is
end of an
Master
inning.
Sergeant?
Yeah.
Master
Inning.
Sergeant, right?
End of an inning. Oh my God. It's funny.
Master. Yeah, Master.
And that's a very inaccurate film, too, because it's Good Morning Vietnam.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does not show Cronauer's life. It's a fictional movie about a real person. Like a real hipster. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got drunk one night in a bar. I hate admitting this at the university,
Then don't,
And-
Gerry. Then don't
No.
do it.
Yeah.
I pulled something that I didn't think I would ever do. And I just had enough beers in me. I saw this kid at the college wearing a military beret. And I got up and I yanked it off his head. I said, 1, don't wear your headgear indoors. So clearly you're not military. So I threw the hat to a girl. I said, give this back to him after I'm not here. And I went back to my table. Such an asshole. I can't believe I did that. I'm embarrassed that I did that.
They're at the bowling alley. God. Wow.
I love this. Do you think she's beautiful?
No.
And he goes, I love this. The truth? Yeah. Nope. What do you think? She's intelligent? No.
No.
Neither do I. I don't think she's intelligent either. Then what the hell do you say? I don't know what it is. She's good in bed.
Oh,
This
man.
is a great scene showing, even after the shit between them, they're friends.
Mm-hmm. That guy, he was a really good actor.
Yeah, he, as I recall, he died young too.
Yeah, he did.
He had a medical condition. one of my favorite films with him was Dog Day Afternoon with Pacino.
Oh my God, man. Are you kidding me? What a great movie. I had never realized how tall he was until that movie.
It's shockingly a true story.
Yes.
What? When I saw that movie, I found out it was true. Oh, this dude goes down and goes trying to knock the pins down and gets stuck.
Hang on. I got some show off stuff since you mentioned that movie. Hang on. I'll be right back.
He goes diving and he gets caught when it's trying to lower the pins. Yeah, was it lung cancer that killed him? It was just sad. I just remember, man, just sad.
Got this.
Yeah, he was sick when they were shooting the movie.
Scenes.
They did all his scenes first, and he died before the movie came out.
That's Chris Sarandon's signature there from Dog Day Afternoon.
Nice.
First major film he was in, he won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor.
Relegated to being remembered for an 80s vampire comedy horror film.
Yes.
Jerry
Great
Dandridge.
Jerry Dandridge.
It's a classic.
Oh, he's
Jerry
awesome.
Dandridge is one of the best characters anybody got to play.
You really
love
think
that
about
character.
it. Chris Sarandon has fans from like 3 generations. My father that's really from my father's generation, Dog Day Afternoon, right?
Right.
I love him for Fright Night, and my daughter loves him because he's the voice of Jack in The Nightmare Before Christmas. You know, I mean, we all took a picture with him the day I got that too. It was at a local
this is
Comic-Con.
the second time back, and we're seeing things cooling down between him and her because she's missing Nikki. And so she's probably harboring great guilt for bedding down with De Niro's character.
Yep.
And it's really weird. The Green Beret is Jody in this.
Yeah, he's Jody, right?
And here's that actor again. He's been in a lot of movies. A lot of movies. And I think he's still alive too. And she can't do it in the house is really what this is about. As I recall, they end up having to go to a hotel. And he's asleep. He's Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Oh, yeah, that's just awful. That's awful that's how he died, man. Yeah, once it gets into the lymphatic system, it's in your blood. It's everywhere.
Yeah. That's why you got to get, like, when you get these melanomas and stuff, you got to get them handled quick because it'll spread. My brother's had a couple of skin cancers taken off.
Well, I get nervous about it. I just got checked last year. Not when I say last year, it's like just 4 months ago.
Yeah,
I had them check because I get them. Skin cancer runs in our family. So whenever I have one of these things on my arm, looks funny, I take it to the doctor. How's that look? They're like, nope, you're good. You're good. Outstanding. Bingo. Oh, I love that church. It's so beautiful seeing steeples like that. That's interesting. That's interesting. VFW or Shriners. Those are Shriners? Yeah. Those are Shriners.
The Shriners.
Hey.
Visiting the vets.
They do great stuff.
Peter
Hi,
Venkman's
Vinkman's girl.
It's here.
On Twitter, it's Vinkman's girl. Playing the bingo.
Wow. Yeah.
And the funny thing about Savage's character, and I say funny, he's at home. he likes being here. It's like, you get taken care of, and I don't have to worry about anything. So he doesn't go home to his wife. He wants to be there. And finally, De Niro's character finds him. They talk, and he goes, "Don't tell her where I'm at. I don't want to go home. I like it here. I'm going to stay here, Mikey. I like it here. It's like a resort." Princess Grace came to see us, Grace Kelly. I don't think he was ever right in the head, this kid, his character.
Mm-mm. No,
his
he
character
wasn't.
is always a little off. Slow, off, one or the other.
But maybe he felt himself apart from the others.
No, they don't. I'm Catholic. I tried to become a Mason because I really didn't think much of the Knights of Columbus. Knights of Columbus was created to fight against the Masonic Lodge taking over Catholics because so many Catholics were becoming. What it is the Catholic Church dislikes Masons, while people in the Catholic Church are fine with me. I love Masons. I have a lot of friends who are Masons.
My stepson's a Mason.
And I wouldn't have minded. I don't feel like doing it now at my age. But when I was younger, and if you look up my name and Knights of Columbus, you'll find out that I was given an award. And I refused to take the award because they wanted me to fly. They wanted to fly me to DC for the special ceremony because I was 1 point something millionth member of the Knights of Columbus. And I'm like, I'm a single dad. I got a kid. They're like, we'll leave her with somebody. I'm like, I don't have anybody to leave her with. She either comes with me or I don't go. And they wouldn't let me take her. And I'm like, no, then I'm not going. Fuck your award. And that was when I was done with Knights of Columbus. I'm like, screw you guys, man. I'm going home. But I always saw the Masons. They get a lot done, man. They really do. They get a lot done. It's part of the Illuminati. There it is, the M60. Yeah, now see, this is what Don was talking about, where those M60s are on the side. He got on a helicopter over there in Vietnam that had 50s Browning, 50 caliber machine guns mounted. Those are monsters. They're like twice the size of those M60s, man. Ma deuce, man. And those guns were so heavy that it rocked the helicopter, them firing. That's dangerous. Those helicopters, the Hueys are not heavy enough to handle 50 calibers. They are not heavy enough. And now we see the fall of Saigon. And he's going there to find Nikki. I've got to find Nikki while I've got a chance. And this is after the greatest betrayal, really, of the 20th century, where the U.S. Congress defunded the war, causing us to not force the obeying of the treaty that they signed in Paris. And it led to millions being murdered by the communists, including in Cambodia, where over 2 million were killed by the Khmer Rouge. The Khmer Rouge was so evil, the NVA went and killed them all. They were both communists. And it's one communist going, you're just a little too dark for us.
I tell you that's the iconic images of them pushing helicopters off of the deck of ships.
Yep. And you'll see that here. I actually got that image with the ABC reporter giving the actual report that was given that day.
Airlifting guys off the top of buildings and just,
that image I think it was Time Magazine had that image of the helicopter leaving and people reaching up being left behind.
Yeah.
And we saw something akin to that here with the pulling out of Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, those guys trying to
It's
get
the
on
exact
this
same
plane.
thing that was done. Betrayal
Yep.
by the government
Yep.
of the United States, betraying those people over there.
It's a damn shame.
It's embarrassing and it's shameful.
Yeah. That's one of the, well,
I don't know if I could do that movie, John. I don't know. That was another one of those films I had trouble with because it was too true. The Killing Fields.
Oh God, yeah, that's wow. That's another one that's, yeah. You don't need
Great
to do
cast,
that on this
though.
show. Ugh.
I'd rather do The Year of Living Dangerously,
right,
than to do The Killing Fields because that's Sam Waterston
it's
in that
heartbreaking,
movie.
man.
I'm trying to remember who else was in it. Was it? I gotta go look.
Yeah,
we really shouldn't do just depressing, heartbreaking movies on military.
Right, yeah, we need something with a little bit of jovialness to it. 1985.
It's got John Malkovich, Sam Waterston, Julian Sands. Have we heard anything on him yet?
No.
Craig T. Nelson is in it, and Bill Patterson, who's a great Scottish actor, and Hang S. Nyor, who's been in a lot of films, including We Were Soldiers.
I think he was nominated for that movie, wasn't he?
It's an intense film. It's just so intense, and I just don't think I could. I don't think I'd want to do it. It's just too depressing.
It is heartbreaking. That movie is heartbreaking
because it's talking about the 2 million murders that the Khmer Rouge did, and it's just some films I just I see it and I'm like, I've seen it now. I don't want to watch it again.
That's what we were talking about before. It's like the Passion of the Christ, or for me, 8 mm.
Don't need to see it again.
Don't need to see it again. I know that exists. I know it happened.
We Were Soldiers like that.
Now, 8 mm is a film I shit on because it's good, and then it does something blatantly stupid. You do not go into a negotiation with the item on you you're negotiating for in your pocket or near you.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be somewhere safe. He goes into the negotiation. Of course, the kid gets killed. That's a stupid negotiation. I hated that ending.
You bring up Sam Waterston. Boys and girls, if you didn't know this, he really had a great acting career before he was even on Law and Order.
Yep.
He's a good actor. He's in another favorite of mine, Capricorn 1.
I was fixing. That's the one I was going to say right there. The jokester in Capricorn 1. He's awesome in that movie.
We have 5 minutes left, gentlemen.
That's all right. It's almost
This
over.
is the big scene
that's
here.
the end anyway.
This is such an intense scene. And it leads to the moment between De Niro and him confronting him finally. You know, you can't go anywhere. I bought into the table to sit across from you again. And again, they play Russian roulette together.
Yeah.
And Nick doesn't recognize him. He doesn't remember him. That is heartbreaking too.
Here's where he's buying in. Now he's sitting across from him, talking to him.
Trying to tell him we can leave. We can leave right now. Right?
And he looks at him. He's just dead in the eyes.
Yeah. That guy's hollowed out.
And this Vietnamese dude with the John Ford eye patch thing with the gun. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does the Mike Who. And so then he does the same thing. I hate this player that they have. They don't allow us to manage the speed of the playing.
Yeah.
Because I could speed this up, but they don't allow us. And he pulls the trigger. He's so calm when he does it, too.
Mm-hmm.
This is how much he loves his best friend.
Yeah, but it kills him every time he does it, because as soon as he's done doing it, he's like, oh, Jesus.
Yep.
Oh.
And finally, when he gets handed the gun again, there's this look. And
there it is. Yeah.
He
has just a faint expression of, man, damn, you know.
And so he reloads the gun, does the gangster thing, spin, and slams it shut, which is a good way to set off a round because it's striking the firing pin when you do that.
Yep.
He stops him here, pulls his arm down, sees all the heroin tracks he's been shooting up.
Yep.
And he reminds him, man, do you remember? And he's like laughing. He goes, the mountains. Yeah, I remember. One shot. Yeah, one shot. And he pulls his hand away and uses one shot.
Yep.
And
Donner.
It's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
And you can say what you want about De Niro, but he's a great actor, man. He is.
He's not king of the mountain anymore.
Yeah.
And he's screaming his name. And now we see the helicopters being dumped.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's the end of the film, basically. And he goes back home. They have the funeral.
Yep.
And they're sitting around in that room in the bar, and they're just
drink to him.
They drink to him, and then Zunza begins singing that song. I forget the name of the song, the American song. People mistake it for the national anthem. It's not the national anthem.
Yeah, the
America the
God
Beautiful.
Bless America.
God bless America.
Land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her. Light and the bright up above.
America the Beautiful.
As a
That's it, America the
trivia
Beautiful.
question, do you know who's playing the guitar for the end credits of the movie?
John Williams.
Okay.
Really?
All right.
Yeah, you thought I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Fuck you, John. I knew that.
Insights you only get here, folks. John
I'm a
Williams.
cinephile, bitches.
One of the greatest
I actually
composers
only
ever.
know that because I'd been reading up on it, and I was like, oh, John Williams played on that.
Wow.
That's neat. I found out this week. I didn't know that before. So I'm acting like I fucking knew, but I only learned it.
It's called research. It's what we do for these shows.
Yeah. I love doing it. And it's clear they're still in love with each other, but this is going to be rough on them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all just sitting there. And Zunza, like I said, begins singing the song. And there it is, man. That's the end of the movie. Them sitting across from each other. Her looking down and him looking at her.
Well, but at least now he doesn't have to feel too bad about being with her because he's dead. Before he was betraying. And
there he goes. He begins
cool
singing.
among soldiers.
Exactly.
And Stevie knows it because
Michael Savage is back. So hopefully that'll be good for his wife to get out of her catatonic state. But thanks a lot, guys, for surviving watching Michael Cimino's The Deer Hunter with us.
Yeah, it's
Fuck you, Bush. We all do.
It's one of those
prepare,
one-timers.
you know?
I'd name everybody, but we got to go. Thanks a lot, guys. We will see you again. We'll see you tomorrow on Brian's show, and then us again on Wednesday, UFO Wednesday. So everybody have a good Monday. Thanks for watching the show, and we'll see y'all later.
See you guys. Bye.